Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I'm back for another I Saw It in Somerset Studio Magazine. Sorry about that. And I am using the most current edition, which is February, March, April 2025. It is volume 29, issue 1. And we are going to make something akin to this style where she's used tea bags, and I have these tea bags that have already been cleaned out and dried and all that. You gotta get all the tea out of the inside. Open up the bag. I usually start at the top and just open it, and then make sure you're standing over a garbage can because the ends aren't sealed. They're sealed by the little fold that's up at the top. And then when you open it, it's like a tube. This particular one is more like a sealed on the sides kind of thing. So anyways, however your tea bags are, you just use them, get your tea out of them, get the use out of them, and that way it colors this too. And then open them up, dry them, and you have some pretty cool paper to work with. So, and I've saved them, and my sisters saved them for me, and then I sometimes don't know what to do with them. So it was cool to see she's painted like a little scene on here. I thought we could stamp it, and then the one I liked was this, which is kind of like a resist, where she put down some kind of plant looking, I'm going to use a die cut, and then painted over it, and then peeled it up, and you see the resist, right? And just did some splatters with some gold. And then there's just all different fabric and like crazy stitching and all that. And I'm going to make journaling cards, which I'm sure you're shocked. I seem to be making a lot of journaling cards lately, but it just kind of works for these. They could be framed, or, because she's done so much fabric, like this is entirely pretty much fabric, except I think the little fence back there. Yeah. So it just depends on how you do it. And this one is super cute because these little houses are even made out of fabric, you can see. And then this one, she did like some little stitches for the birds. I'm not going to be stitching. I mean, I'm going to do sewing machine stitching, but I'm not going to do hand stitching. So this one is by Carol Ann Webster, and it starts on page 68. And we're just going to play around. And of course, as I always say, I am definitely not going to get the same exact thing. I'm doing my own version just based on kind of looking at the images. So, and that's how I always do it. So what we're going to do first is stamp this piece of tea bag. Sorry, I tore it smaller because I didn't want it to be as big as those big pieces of tea bag that you saw. My brain just, it doesn't want to work these days sometimes. And I have this rose stamp, and I'm not even exactly sure where I got this one. I think I got it with a magazine that I purchased at Joann Fabrics, but I don't know. Anyway, just use what you got. It doesn't matter. Just like I don't have the same things as they have in the magazine, you guys aren't going to have the same thing I have. Just use what you have. It's just fun to kind of try some different techniques and things, or use things like my tea bags that I always forget to use. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. So I'm trying to see how I want to do this. I think we'll do it like this. And if some hangs off, I don't care. We're just going to get some stamp on there and see what we come up with. So how are you guys? I hope that you're having a fantastic week. I'm having a good week. My kids are coming to dinner. We're going to have corned beef and cabbage. We didn't get to do it on Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, so we're going to do it tonight. So that'll be fun. Oh, wow, that did not work great, did it? Huh. Because of the ripples in the, well, we're going to try that again. I guess I need to press harder, and I'll have to tear another piece. This one has kind of some roses on it already. Some of these I got from my sister, so, but it's fine. I don't mind that. So let's see if we can get a better impression here. That is crazy how it just did not get down in those little dips and things. It's all trial and error. That's probably why she drew, I think she drew a lot of the things, or painted or whatever. But I thought stamps might be easier, but maybe not. Ah, much better. Okay, it's not perfect, but that's fine. I have no issues with, you know, some things not showing up entirely. Okay, so now I can tear this one a little bit smaller. Yeah, my sister Megan is wonderful because she saves me all kinds of junk mail and cardboard and tea bags. So it's very nice because sometimes all by yourself, I don't drink a ton of tea. I do drink some tea, especially in the summer. I do iced tea, but so you're not always going to have enough. Okay, I want just, I don't know. Do I want to do this? I think what I might do, I didn't think this part through, but I think I might, hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm back, and what I tried did not work, so I went ahead and stopped my, or, you know, didn't come back and show you guys that because it didn't work. I just tried to put some alcohol ink on there, and it, of course, messed up the original stamp, which makes sense because it messes up that ink. So, you guys don't need that part because that is not helpful. So let's try it another way. Get this all the way dry. I put a little rubbing alcohol. This is alcohol ink. And I'm not going to worry about where I put my color. I'm going to just put some color down, and wherever the stamp lands, that's where it is. Right? I just want a drip of this, if I can get just a drip. This is just rubbing alcohol, because those are alcohol markers. I don't know if I said that. Okay, so we're just going to dip it in this, get a little of this, and just kind of put some color on here. Now you could do this with watercolor too. This is just what I had close, so that's what I'm using. But you can do it however you would like. And it may be a disaster. I don't know. We'll see. Get rid of that color. And we'll get a little pink. I really just want a suggestion of color. I don't want like a ton of color. This is all trial and error. Do not quote me on any of this because I am just winging it here. Just trying to get some color. So, let's see. I've got just some water. And then I'm going to take my stamp again. And this may not work. I don't know. I should probably get this dry all the way, huh? Because otherwise we're just going to have the same problem again with the black ink. One thing about rubbing alcohol is it dries super fast, so that is handy dandy. Now, I did not put these in the right spots at all, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. And whatever it is, it is. But we do got to press hard to try to get in all the little grooves of the tea bag. Okay, that's not perfect, but we're going to go with it. The flatter you could get your tea bag, the better, I would say. But it's all trial and error, that's for sure. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need that piece of plastic again. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that color off, because we need it for our paint in the next part. All right. I need to say hugs and blessings to Diana, Grenea's Journals 27, and Vicky. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your kind comments. I really appreciate all of you so much. Welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you who've watched me for a long time or a short time. So now I'm just, you know, tearing it smaller because, like I said, it doesn't need to be the entire size of the tea bags. I kind of do like this messy part up here, so I am going to keep that as much as possible. So that color just gave it a little something, you know. And then we're going to take a piece of fabric. This is my glue book pages. So when I glue over here on regular book page, I fold them and then you end up with this kind of a thing. Don't get after me for the words. I didn't write the book. If this is a bad one, I don't know. And I will stitch around this, so I'm not going to worry, because some of these lift like that because they're just glued in spots from being glue books. Okay. And then that will go on there. And that's just fabric, piece of fabric. And I'm going to use my glue stick, because I am going to stitch around it. And those glue sticks work great anyhow. So. Oh, was that the good side? I think it doesn't matter on that fabric, which is nice. That doesn't happen very often. Usually one side is much more muted than the other. Okay. It's so windy today. Ick, ick, ick. But I'm very happy because my kids are coming. They love corned beef and cabbage. My husband's been doing a lot better with gout ever since he lost some weight. And so we've been able to eat a little bit of beef again. I mean, we try to not eat a ton of beef anyway, but like the last couple of years, we really haven't done corned beef and cabbage. So it's kind of fun. To have it again. It's definitely a family favorite. All right, so then I have another piece of fabric that I'm going to put here. And I have this one I think I'll put down here. And then I just have some bits of lace that I wanted to put on there. I got glue stuck on my finger, imagine. Another one there, and then this one will go, this will go right on here. And we'll do some crazy stitching in that. So for now, I think I'm just gonna put some glue on this. And some thread that came off the back of the fabric. Oh my goodness. It really wants to stick to my fingers. So just a little bit on here to stick that down for a minute until I can get it stitched. So these go together pretty easy once you figure out what you want to do, which obviously can be very time consuming to decide. those are going to kind of just have to hopefully stick until I can stitch. How do I want this piece? That'll work. All right, and then I will stitch all around that, and I think that will add a lot more interest, but that is what we have so far. And as you can see, mine is far, far different from hers. Just using the idea for it. And then with this one, like I said, I wanted to do that resist. I do like that fold over, but I'm not sure if I paint it, if that's gonna stay. But I have just a die cut that I have. I thought I would put it on, paint over it. So I think I'm gonna have to tape that with some washi to hold it in place, and my washi's all up high. Hold on just a second. I'm not used to all the changes we've done in here, and I keep forgetting where my stuff is because we've moved it around a little bit. Just gonna kind of do that, and maybe this, just to hold that in place while I put some paint over that so it's not wiggling around. Don't need a ton of paint, just a little bit. I want a navy kind of a blue. That's what I'm trying for. It's going to end up being a lot of paint at this rate. Oh, come on. Black comes right out. See, I knew I was going to do that. So I was trying to avoid. Wish there was an easier way with those bottles to control the amount of paint that comes out. Okay. It's a little bit not navy there, but we're just going to go with what we got. And just try to hold on to the leaves more than anything, and try to go in one direction so that hopefully that'll work. It's maybe a flop of a day with the coloring techniques, but this one's a little bit kind of pointless because you're entirely covering the you could do this on a piece of tissue paper is what I'm trying to say, because you're entirely covering the tea bags. I don't know why I can't remember the name of those when I'm doing something else, but I can't. Okay, so we should hopefully, keep your fingers crossed for me. It would probably be good to let it dry a little bit, but we're just going to try to lift it and see what we get. I thought about using those ferns that I have for the, yeah, see, that's not great. Whatchamacallit, that I was using for the fairy journal, but I was afraid they were too thin and would fall apart or stick. Okay, I'm back and I got it dry. I was about to give up on this, but I kind of like it. Like, it's a little bit transparent, and you're not going to really notice it once I put it on the fabric it's going to go on, but I think I'm going to attempt to use my Posca, the little tiny one I have, if it'll work. And we'll see if we can't salvage this. And if we can't, well, we got one out of the deal, right? But we'll just give it our own little flavor here and see what we get. Because some of these projects are just like that. You just don't know what you're going to get when you try some of these. And I'm not drying my leaves exactly the way the leaves were, but it's fine. They'll have a little more of an artistic look this way than the perfectly formed, what do you call it? Die cut? Where to put your fingers. This is actually working, this pen, for a change. Sometimes they just don't work at all. Probably because it's going over acrylic paint, because it's acrylic paint on acrylic paint, which sometimes is better. Which kind of makes sense, obviously. Have a gold mess on here already, so we'll just continue on with the gold mess. So sorry, I know that I just was going to give up on this. But then I'm like, well, you can just continue on and see what it turns out like. It's not hurting anything. I have a huge shadow from that rubbing alcohol bottle. This is all just acrylic paint I'm using. Okay, and I'm going to have to get that dry again, but I really am kind of liking it. I think I'm going to put a little, I want that folded. Like that. Okay, I'm going to pause and get it dry. Okay, I am back. This is all dry, and I'm very happy with it, so I'm glad I didn't give up on it. I did stitch around this one, just so you can kind of see what, you know, when they're all done. Put some extra strings down there, and I backed it. So I did the stitching first, and then I put a piece of tea-dyed paper over it. Okay, and so the next one we'll put together so that You can see that. I really was going to give up on that. I mean, it's not like perfect, but I kind of like it. And it's going to go on this janky piece of fabric anyway, so it kind of works. So that just goes to show, I guess, stick with whatever your project is, and hopefully, you know, in the end, you'll be happy. And they're not always a success. I mean, it happens. There's stuff that I've tossed and whatever, definitely over the 7 years that I've been doing this stuff, because it's just not what I had in mind or whatever. So, but I really do kind of like that. And then I have a piece of, I think I was going to put this on this side. I have a piece of this that's already been stitched on. And more threads, because threads are fun, I think. And then sometimes they can be very annoying too. And then I'm just going to put this little piece of fabric down there because I like it. Actually, I might put, or do I want this over here? Yeah, I think that's how I'll do it. Very different from what she did in the magazine, but as you'd expect when somebody else does it, right? And is not trying to copy it. That was tricky though, I'm not gonna lie, but I really like the effect. I didn't think I would like it because you're covering the whole tea bag, but it's just really kind of cool looking. Pleasantly surprised, right? So sorry for all the stopping and starting. It's just one of those kind of videos, unfortunately, when you have to let things dry and all that. It's tricky. Tricky to get it all figured out. Oh, I bet there's one dot that wasn't all the way dry. Oh, I guess it was. Nice. Yeah, I think this is my favorite one, even though I was not happy with the painting part. Isn't that funny how that happens? I might change to white thread for this one. I do like the brown, but I think it'll just go better with this. And this will get hooked on better when it gets stitched. It's the only problem with the threads. Don't have a lot of control over those. This either. That one went together easy once I got the painting part done. Okay, yeah, I think I'll definitely use some white or light colored thread anyway. Ink it a little bit. So I will pause again one more time. And I'll come back and show you when they're both done. So much stopping and starting. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. They're all dry, stitched around, backed, ready to go. I found this piece of white rickrack on my sewing desk, and I was like, because she did add some things like that on some of them. So this was Carol Ann Webster. Thank you to Carol Ann Webster for a fun idea. I thought I saw Rick Rack somewhere. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Hallucinating. Anyway, I added some to mine, and this is definitely my favorite, even though it was tricky and definitely not as perfectly, didn't come out as perfectly, but I kind of like that, you know, messy, sloppy look. But anyway, I hope you guys give it a try. These will go into journal pockets, or they may end up as journal pockets themselves. So if this was, you know, half of a journal page, whatever, you could glue on two sides and have it as a tuck back here, or obviously pop it into a pocket or a belly band. They'd be good for that because they're kind of big. Oh, I never told you guys measurements. Let me do that real quick. So they're roughly, because it's just the size of my book page, 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. This one's a tiny bit bigger. But anyways, I hope you guys give it a try. I hope you like it, and we will chat again soon. Love ya. Bye.